I have a great opportunity this week. Obviously, this is a tremendous rivalry that we are very excited to play in. I think the week off has certainly helped us just kind of mentally and physically rejuvenate somewhat. But we've had some really good practice days. We've got a whole other week to prepare, which we'll need to beat this very good team. And without question, they're playing as good a football as I've seen them play in a long time. So we got our challenges obviously set in front of us. Really looking forward to going down there and play and having a lot of fun. But again, you know, we've got a whole other week of preparation that we definitely plan. Specifically, you know, it's invaluable. You know, it's good to come off a win. You know, is really his his second start and to get a win. And to be able to build on some of those things that we did both not so well and some things we did do well. And it's just, you know, it's good to be able to have a week to build on that and kind of go back and really work on us, which is what we spent a lot of time doing last week, is really, you know, focusing, you know, more on Auburn than we did Georgia by design. And, you know, I think so. I think for him personally that was invaluable, but for our whole, you know, for the whole team as well. I think that you know, anytime you can be 50-50, that's the perfect world. The reality of it is that we've always tried to be as balanced as we could. That's one of the things that you know, Gus and I continuously talk about, and we're on the same page with. However, you know, there's sometimes where defenses are doing certain things that just don't allow you to do that, or circumstances in the game don't necessarily always allow you to be as balanced as you would like. So that's always the goal going into the game, into any game. But again, you know, when the defenses, you know, show their hand in terms of what they're going to do, then you have to, you know, adapt and adjust on the run and do what's best, you know, for you to give yourself an opportunity to move the ball. You know, they've got a lot of talent. I mean, they've got some very talented, big physical. You know, they've got the kind of prototypical receivers that have come out of Georgia, you know, over the years. You know, the 6'2", 6'3" guys. One particular case, 6'5" guy. You know, they've got very big physical receivers. You know, A.J. Greens are very special. You know, they don't come along very often. But that certainly doesn't mean they don't have great receivers. You know, you got a quarterback that's thrown for, you know, more touchdowns than anybody in the league who can get them the ball. They've got a great vertical passing attack with those big receivers out there. So, you know, although they don't have A.J. Green, they've certainly got a lot of guys that can do the job. Big challenge. You know, here's a true freshman that's, you know, rushed for, you know, more than 800 yards, somewhere in there, I believe, give or take. But you know, he's gaining confidence with the games, you know, as each game that goes by. You know, he's a very good running back. I mean, he was recruited very heavily coming out of high school for a reason, and that's because he's very good at what he does. He's got great vision. He's got really good balance. And I think, you know, you can see week by week, there's a comfort level in there with him in terms of, you know, how effective he is and how comfortable he feels with his reads running the football. And so he's an extremely talented back. I mean, that's always part of the deal. You know, unfortunately, some things happened last year that, you know, I wish didn't. But the bottom line is we're always trying to do things the right way, and I don't expect there to be any issues at all. I think this is a completely different team that we're facing as opposed to where they were 2 years ago when we went in there. Just like you said, number one, I think the biggest thing, and you can see it when you watch their film, is you got a team that's won that many games in a row, and they are playing with a huge amount of confidence. And they're getting better every week. The quarterback just has a lot of confidence defensively. You know, they're in the top 3 in just about, you know, in a lot of categories defensively. They're playing really well. So it's a very different team that we're facing. You know, for us, you know, what we can't do is we can't implode like we did on the road the last time we went, you know, and that is, you know, self-destruct, you know, with turnovers and, you know, big plays, you know, giving up defensively. You know, those are the things that we can't do. It's no different. I mean, we're going into a tough SEC environment. Of course, the whole place will be electric, and there's a lot at stake in what they're playing for, and we get all that, you know. But the bottom line is we have to go in there and do the things that that allow you to win on the road. You can't have penalties. We can't have negative plays. We can't turn the ball over. We've got to, minimize any of the explosive plays from them offensively. All of those things are going to be, part of the equation for us, along with us trying to possess the football, and keep it out of their offense, which is extremely potent. So, I'm not sure there's any new revelations on how you got to go in there and win in Athens, but we know if we don't do the majority of the things that I just mentioned, we'll have no chance. Obviously, for them, like I said, a lot's at stake. For us, every week a lot's at stake. We're expected to win every week, no matter who we play or where we play them. So, our goal is to go in there and beat a very good football team, and that's our goal. And for us to be able to do that, like I said, we'll have to play extremely well. But great rivalry, a lot of fun, and it's one of those games where we're going to have to go in there and just play the best road game we've played, no question about it, to win. I think, Philip, when you talk about rivalries, part of what makes a rivalry is that there's great competition, and it usually goes back and forth. And so, if you look at, I believe, 114 games, and I think 38 points separates the two teams in 114 tries, I would say that if there's anything that constitutes a rivalry, that's probably it. A rivalry is always made up of two teams that usually have something in common and are great competition for and with each other. And I don't think you could go back and do the math and think anything other than, that's one of the reasons this has been a great rivalry. It's big for us. There's no question about it. And whether they're at 85% or 100%, just having them on the field is really big for us in terms of what we call, how we call it. You just having Emory back the other night against Ole Miss was it was obvious in some third down situations, him making some big catches and things of that nature that were all at the right time. Makes a difference for your whole football team. Yeah, it would be a challenge, and I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about it, but we know what this league already entails, and it's tough. So, those decisions we made, again, like I say, every time I get asked about it, we're trying to beat Georgia, but the guys that make those decisions obviously do a great job of what they do, so they'll make the right decisions for us. You know what? I've moved on. So we're in a new year and a new week, and we're excited about it. But that's in the past. Just watching him over 2 years. He is very resilient. He is extremely tough. He's taken some hits. He's taken some hits, and whether it be design runs, they'll run him on the quarterback draws, they'll run him in the run game, they'll run him on the zone reads, or whether it's, him taking hits, with breakdowns and protections here and there. He's just a tough guy, and he showed that in our game last year, and he's definitely repeatedly shown that this year. And so he's just one of those guys that, you can tell, obviously, I don't know him, but you can tell he's one of those guys that is one of those leaders that everybody on offense looks at and probably feeds off of because of not only how well he plays and what he's done productivity-wise, but the element of toughness he brings to the game. You can tell he's got that. I'm very proud of him, and I think the last 2 games has been more of what we've expected from him for a long period of time. But really proud of him coming into his own, and he's starting to play football. He's starting to play the game, the way he's built to play it, and he's starting to get a comfort level out there. He's starting to feel good, about fitting in the defense and what his job is and things of that nature. And so I'm really proud of him. This is going to be a huge game for him. We need him to be very productive, in a week like this. But just overall, very proud of where he's come in the last month as a player.